Welcome back to Disruptors Unleashed, the series that explores the disruptive technologies shaping our world and the trailblazers igniting change across industries. Previously, we talked about harnessing circular principles to create products that are better and more sustainable than ever before. In this episode, we'll take a look at how you can design product for every stage of the life cycle, including end of life. With us today is Andrea Kenyon. He's the Senior Business Consultant of the Industrial Equipment Industry at Dassault Systèmes. Welcome, Andrea. To start off, let's explore the connection between waste and resources. Could you share a few examples of industrial waste reduction practices that are economically viable? How would they impact existing value streams today?
Let me start by saying that there is a straight connection between waste and resource. The waste could be a resource. The relation between waste reduction and margin increase is straight. Waste shall be disposed only when there is no other viable solution to transform it in a resource. For industrial application, life extension is an easy example of waste reduction. This will increase overall equipment efficiency. An example of this could be considering an assembly line machine. So by upgrading just some module instead of replacing the whole assembly line, the OEM can reduce waste while improving competitiveness with a more performant and modernized line. When the assembly line shall be replaced with a brand new line, the old machine could be still sold to low-tier countries with low performance requirements. For this use case of second-hand market, disassembly procedure, transportation jigs, part traceability would be required to fulfill the reuse operation considering quality and safety. As you can see, this is an extension of lives that reduce the product waste. Lightweight engineering is also playing an important role in industrial equipment customer circularity approach. By designing later parts using 3D printing, for instance, will allow OEMs like robot manufacturers, line builders, building equipment OEMs to reduce the amount of raw material used, but also to reduce part inertia for moving parts, with a consequence of reducing energy cost during the ownership. The last example that I want to provide you is for me the most important for industrial equipment. We cannot imagine the amount of spare parts that every year are scrapped due to obsolescence in the warehouses. So for industrial equipment customer like building equipment, elevator, and specialized manufacturing machinery, that they need to maintain asset for 30, 40, 50 years, having spare parts in the catalog and in the warehouse is key. You can imagine the amount of scrap that you can have behind. So by optimize spare parts inventory in the warehouses, thanks to real-time monitoring and predictive maintenance, and using standard part instead of custom part to increase reusability, it would be possible to save tons of waste while reducing inventory and obsolescence cost.
Thank you for those insights, Andrea. Having the right data is certainly crucial in optimizing inventory and reducing costs. So on that topic, let's dive into the realm of data science. Our next expert is Diana Go-Naga, the NetVibes Strategy Director at Dassault Systèmes. Hi, Diana. It's good to have you here. So our question for you is, how can data science help enterprises lower a product's environmental footprint?
To be more sustainable, you have to know how to be more sustainable. And most of the companies that I've met, they do not know. And knowing is being able to act. So this is where data science can help you, because by connecting the data that you have on your business, on your activity, you are going to start to have an overview of what is your environmental footprint, and this in a detailed manner. And this is how you can identify what are the best levers for you to be more sustainable. An example of that is when you design a product, you are going to design it virtually. And right there, we can already say on a virtual product, during its conception, this is the environmental of this product, and it is detailed. It is not only each part of the product. You can identify if it is the frame, the engine, the embedded systems that are having the most impactful environmental footprint, but also in time. Is it the product manufacturing that will be costly? Is it the product usage that will generate a lot of emissions? So this is important to have a 360-degree overview of how your activity has an environmental footprint and how your product can be changed. And you can identify what is the one best lever on which you can act to optimize your environmental footprint. And this can be done for the development of a coffee machine, a plane, a car, a glass. So all those products, you can anticipate the impact in a very detailed way to take the best decisions.
Yes, absolutely. Having that 360-degree overview can really make a difference in lowering the product's environmental footprint. Thank you for sharing your thoughts, Diana. Next up, let's explore what's happening in the life sciences industry. Our expert on hand is John McCarthy. He's the Business Value Consulting Senior Director of the Life Sciences and Healthcare Industry at Dassault Systèmes. Welcome, John. Thank you for joining us. So, John, what are life sciences companies already doing to solidify their environmental reputation? Could you perhaps share 3 practices that can be replicated?
So life science companies have a lot of factors they have to balance all at once. Health of the patient, equitable healthcare for society, as well as health of the planet. And while certainly much of the focus is on health of the patient, as well as equitable healthcare for society, there's a great deal of attention that the industry has on the environment that really largely goes unrecognized. Biopharma companies, for example, look at how can they make manufacturing of treatments greener? Can they use less water for cleaning by scaling out their process, meaning having that process run several times in parallel, or by scaling up that process into a larger bioreactor? Is it more sustainable to use large stainless steel tanks that need to be cleaned, or is it more sustainable to have smaller batches that utilize single-use materials that don't have to be cleaned? And as we've seen during the pandemic, companies also asked, can we produce these treatments and vaccines much closer to the patient, thereby avoiding the CO2 emissions it would take to ship that treatment around the world or to the patient themselves? We've also seen during the pandemic the emergence of telehealth and digital approaches where patients can get treatment from home without taking a long time-consuming and CO2 emitting trip to see their doctor or to visit the hospital. Secondly, medical device companies are completely rethinking product design. They're very much looking at life cycle assessment early in the design process, and in particular, looking at how they can reduce plastic waste in packaging, as well as how they can increase the use of biocompatible, eco-friendly plastics in the devices themselves. And finally, both the medical device companies as well as hospitals are reevaluating how they can reuse, refurbish, and remanufacture equipment. This lowers the amount of medical waste that needs to be disposed of, and medical waste needs to be disposed of in very careful manners that are not necessarily very sustainable. So if we can lower the amount of medical waste that we generate, we're lowering the amount of CO2 emissions from putting that not only into landfills, but also burning it in certain cases. But it also ensures that we're able to deliver healthcare much more equitable to the overall society.
It's great to learn how fast the life sciences industry is progressing, especially in their circularity efforts. We can now see that there's a greater emphasis on delivering more sustainable healthcare to society. So thank you, John, for sharing those really good examples. Now, let's move on to circularity from a larger viewpoint. Our next industry expert is Kai Zhang, the BioVia Brand Marketing Director at Dassault Systems. Hello, Kai. Here's our question for you. What would you tell a CEO who wants to embed more sustainability practices into their business? And I'm also curious, which companies are on the right track with this?
Good question. Sustainability is not just a buzzword, but a strategic move for modern companies. Today, I would like to share my point of view on how digital transformation can drive sustainability innovations throughout the organization. Digital transformation is the key to innovate for sustainability. It's a process of integrating digital technologies into various aspects of your business to enhance operation, reduce environmental impact, and create value. Let me explain why this is essential. First is about data-driven decision-making. Digital transformation empowers your organizations with real-time data and analytics. By harnessing this data, you can make informed decisions with sustainability initiatives, track progress, and optimize resource usage. The second point I want to talk about is efficiency and resource optimization. Digital tools streamline processes and resource management, whether it's R&D productivity, supply chain optimization, energy management, or waste reduction. Digital transformation allows you to do more with less, cutting costs while reducing environmental footprint. Last point I want to make here is about innovation and product development. Digital technologies enables innovative product designs and services that align with sustainability goals. For instance, creating products with longer life cycle or offering digital solutions to reduce physical resource consumption. I want to mention a couple of companies here as examples. The first one I want to talk about is Nippon Shikobai, a global leading specialty chemical company. The company aims to reduce carbon dioxide emission by 30% by 2030 and to achieve carbon neutrality by 2050. Nippon Shikobai needed a more efficient, accurate way to acquire, analyze, and integrate data from lab experiments, modeling, and performance evaluation. By leveraging our modeling and simulation tools, Nippon Shikobai coupled computational methods with their lab analysis to discover more efficient catalysts and electrolytes. Nippon Shikobai researchers have been able to expedite their product development and improve process efficiency significantly. The second example I want to talk about is one of the largest pharmaceutical companies in the world. The company has always been trying to improve productivity and accelerate their product development. By implementing BioVia One Lab solutions, the company tripled process development project without new headcounts, gained 60% efficiency improvements in scientific and engineering analysis, which resulted in more than $50 million in annual operational savings globally. As you can see, digital transformation isn't just a technical upgrade. It's a strategic move towards a more sustainable and resilient future. It empowers your organization to innovate, reduce costs, and lower environmental impact. By prioritizing digital transformation, you can lead your company into a new era of sustainable business practices, ensuring long-term success and contributing to a better world.
Absolutely. Digital transformation is a strategic move towards sustainable business practices. I'm so glad that you highlighted this through the examples that you brought up. Thanks again, Kai, for your point of view. Next up, we have Michelle Moncelier, the Solution Experience Director of the high-tech industry at Dassault Systems. Hi, Michelle. Thank you for joining us. As you know, we are moving away from a linear economy, and more consumers are now looking for products that can stand the test of time, especially consumer electronics. So as we work to meet these environmental targets, what can companies do to make their products last longer?
Consumer behavior is changing. People like you and me are more careful about the products we buy. We want to reduce our own impact. Companies at the forefront of changing consumer behaviors anticipate this. Meanwhile, pressure from regulations and investors is pushing companies to propose durable products with more reliable components, built in a more modular way to be upgradable, repairable, and ready for multiple lives. You probably heard about Fairphone. Fairphone is a well-known company because it's building modular design. But I'd like to mention another company called Crosscall. This is a French company that builds rugged smartphones and tablets with a 5-year warranty, including their battery. They sell to professionals from fire departments, police, army, and also for outdoor activity lovers like some of you, I guess. At Crosscall, the supply chain has very strict standards, and the company sets intensive torture tests to ensure that the products will fulfill their mission. They ensure software upgrades, and they listen to customers with dedicated programs. They are confident enough to propose refurbished products with a 12-month warranty, as Back Market does. By the way, Back Market says that a refurbished smartphone saves 91% of raw materials, 86% of water, and emits 91% less CO2 than a new one. Isn't that a good reason to reconsider our next purchase?
Of course, yes. Those are indeed good reasons to reconsider our next purchase. So thank you for those insights, Michelle. Disruptors Unleashed is produced by Dassault Systèmes. For more episodes, follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Deezer, or your nearest audio streaming platform. To learn more about Dassault Systèmes, visit us at 3ds.com.